What what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 6th, 2022. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup. That frog's gonna go land on. Hold on. There maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. Maybe this is how I talk for the rest of my life. Here, I'm gonna follow myself on Twitch. There we go. Now I'm watching a show. How are you? How was your Monday? Well, you may have had a better Monday than me. You may have had a more exciting Monday than me. You may have accomplished more. I can't even finish that sentence. Yesterday was an absolutely incredible day for me. I'm thankful that you are all here. Thank you for your understanding with the varied show start time now. But of course, that's the beauty of you being able to watch later is you can watch later. You don't have to see it right now. You can see it anytime. And that's kind of cool. For those of you who were watching as I was totally messing up the banners, I had this realization, I don't know why I haven't figured this out before, that the crawl at the bottom is what we should use for primarily all the banners instead of these other banners that take up, that much space. The crawl doesn't take up nearly as much space, and it leaves more space for my face. Got 5 hours last night. Apparently it's having trouble streaming to Facebook now. That's fun. What am I supposed to do with that? We'll keep trying. Well, considering we just lost most of the followers, that yeah, it would seem that you're not streaming to Facebook right now. So what am I going to do? I'm going to keep powering through because there's nothing else that I can do. I want to say good morning to Nathan, Liz, Jenny, and anyone else who is watching or listening at some point here. I've been trying to come up with what is the equivalent of what I am doing in the martial arts space. This Tony Robbins event, this Date with Destiny, is the name of the event. You can look it up. You can see all kinds of stuff about it. It is as built. It is absolutely incredible experience. I think you all know me well enough to know that I don't do one thing well, historically. The idea of committing a week to something with significant financial cost. Good morning, Dennis. And not being able to work, right? Like I put a lot of priority on work. But I thought I'd give this a shot. Give this a shot. I am so glad that I did. Because I suspect, I was talking to somebody about this. I was messaging with someone yesterday, and I think this might go down as the single most transitional event of my life. And this is glad you're looking rested, my friend. Thank you. I don't feel it, but I'm trying. And this says my phone kicked me off Facebook, so I'm here now. Something happened. I got a message. I got a notification here. We're not streaming to Facebook right now for some bizarre reason. Can't say why. Yeah, Jenny went over to YouTube. Well, see, this is part of the value of us having more than one platform. This is part of why I love StreamYard as a platform, because we can simulcast. Not really the right term, but we use it anyway. So I'm trying to come up with what is the equivalent. What would the equivalent be for Date with Destiny? It would be all in weekend. One of my number one takeaways from attending this event is, I mean, there's tremendous growth. I'm a better version of myself already. And we're not done. 2 more days, and then working on all the stuff, actually like incorporating it and getting it better. This says, well, Jeremy likes to kick me out of meetings, so I wasn't sure. I'm not sure that I've ever kicked you out of a meeting, but I would. And the equivalent is all in a weekend. It's comprehensive. It is seemingly disconnected at the beginning with crescendo at the end that ties it all together. And I've been thinking about what a week-long all-in weekend would be. And my hope is, as we fill this event, we'll do another event somewhere else. And it'll be a different length of time. Because there's a difference between a 48-hour all-in weekend and an all-in week. So for those of you who are watching or listening, I know a number of you are already committed to attending all-in weekend. The numbers are great. I am expectant that we will sell out or at least get very close. We're already nearly at last year's numbers, which is pretty cool. But for anybody who's watching or listening, if you were not there last year for our debut year of all-in weekend, go to whistlekick.com, find the event, check it out. Because one of the biggest takeaways that I think is relevant to all of you is if we think about Tony Robbins and that being a yardstick by which to judge some of the things I've done, I'm further down the path than I realized. This is my first Tony Robbins event. There are things I've been doing that I'm really pumped about. He does them. Some of the things he does on stage, things I do when I teach a seminar. Not things that everyone does either. Don't ask me for an example. I'm having a hard enough time sitting and drinking tea. But it's the things that I don't do yet. It's the things I've not figured out yet. Oh, Mark's here. Looks like Facebook is back on. That's cool. Good morning. Sparky on my way out the door. Sparky? When did I become Sparky? Sparky is Bill Wallace's character in A Force of One. All-in weekend will be next level this year because of, or should I say next year, because of what I'm learning. Not just because of what I'm learning for myself, but the methodologies I'm learning. And attention to detail and forethought on logistical concerns. I could teach the Tony Robbins organizations and things. Yep. So there we go. Today is the second to the last day. There was a moment last night I thought we were going to get out on time. It was 11 p.m. No, we still got out at almost 2, a little after 2. Time in a windowless, really it would be a warehouse if it was anywhere, if it was anything else, but it's been completely converted. And you don't know. You don't know what time it is. There's no windows, and I intentionally took my watch off. So it's like, oh, well, it's been another 3 hours. Interesting. There are times it feels like, it must be 1 o'clock. I go outside and it's dark. It's dark here about 6. Jenny says, all-in weekend is becoming a better and better investment then. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I look forward to sitting down with Andrew and just kind of vomiting all the ideas I have. Some of them are written down in the workbook we're using. So, what do all of you do with this? Right. That's always my goal when we do this show. What do you do with this? How does what I'm talking about or experiencing, how does it become beneficial or relevant to you, ideally in a martial arts context? The reason I feel like I'm getting as much out of this as I am is I'm working really hard to show up with a white belt mindset. We talk about that all the time, right? We talk about that. If you go in assuming you know nothing and completely submitting to the information being given to you, to the training that you're being led through, to the experience that you are experiencing, you have the greatest opportunity for knowledge, for insight. It doesn't start and stop at the mats. It's everything in life. It doesn't mean that you don't know anything. It doesn't mean you pretend that you don't know anything. It means that you're open to everything you believe being replaceable with better information. I'm sure all of you have 1,001 things, even outside of martial arts, that you're really darn good at. But is there not someone somewhere in the world that you would admit could know or do or understand that subject, that action better than you? And if the answer is yes, which let's face it is, there are very few things that any of us are currently engaged in that we are best in the world at, with the exception of living our lives. Nobody else is a better Jeremy Lesniak than me, even the other Jeremy Lesniak, because yes, there are a few. Um, so if we're willing to show up to life with a white belt mindset, if we are willing to acknowledge that there is room for improvement everywhere, in everything, at any time, then we have the possibility of constant growth in any and all areas. When we show up for training, the higher ranked you are, the more impactful a white belt mindset is. There's something that I've heard kicked around a couple times this week, but I've heard it before. The idea of someone with professional experience talking about having 10 years of experience, and a tongue in cheek response being, you have 1 year of experience 10 times. How many people get really good at doing their job in 6 months and they just keep doing that same job? Do you actually have 10 years of experience? You have 6 months of experience. You have 9.5 years of practice of 6 months. And a lot of black belts are that way. They've learned the material, they continue to show up to class, they refine some things, but they don't believe there's much more. I hear martial artists say, we learn all the material for our Shodan, our first Dan, our first degree, our first black belt, whatever. You've learned all the material. Why do you keep training? Why do you spend 10, 20 years if you've learned all the material? There is a difference between seeing something, having an intellectual understanding of it, being able to do it more or less, and knowing something. I know my name. There's zero doubt in my mind that I know my name. Is there anything you do in your training that you know with that much certainty? Some of you might say, yeah, I do. Okay. Would you bet your life that there's no better way? No, I don't mean dramatically different, but no better adjustment, no way to slightly improve no better way to become more efficient, even within the parameters of your own style, if you have a specific style, for even a basic punch or a front kick? Would you bet your life that your front kick cannot be improved? Would you bet your life that there is not a better version of that front kick for you, for your reasons for training in some other school or under some other instructor? Would you bet the lives of your children? I'm going to assume none of you would say yes. And so if that's the case, where does that leave us? It leaves us with the possibility that there are some dramatic potential improvements to our training. And what's the best way to be open to dramatic changes, dramatic improvements in our training? Carrying that white belt mindset. Acknowledging that where I am and what I'm doing right now, I'm doing the absolute best I can with it, but I'm willing to throw any or all of it out at any moment if the situation warrants it. How many of you have been doing a particular form for years, and then suddenly someone points out or you notice there's a move you've been doing completely wrong? You've been through testings with this form. You've competed with this form. Maybe you've even won. Maybe it's even your favorite form. You're like, wait a second. This move is here. I'm punching here, not here. This block is this block and not this block. It's a side kick, not a roundhouse kick. You're kidding me. Most of us have had that experience at some point. Might not be a huge difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. Kenny says, during our dawn testing last Saturday, our Grandmaster had all of the black belts do our form mirror image to test if we actually know the form. It's a great example. If I ask you, do you know your name? And you say yes, I could ask you any question about your name. I could ask you to spell it backwards. Maybe you'd have to write it down, but you would know how to do that. If I ask you to if I gave you the letters rearranged and said, make a word out of this, the first word you're going to make is your name. If you truly know a form, you can do it forwards and backwards and mirror image and backwards mirror image and blindfolded and facing a different direction in the school than you might normally. If you know something, if you have that level of conviction that, yeah, I'll put everything I own or the lives of my loved ones on the line against my knowledge of this, which, let's face it, is a hypothetical, so it doesn't matter. Most of us aren't going to come up with that very often, if ever, and that's a good thing. Jenny adds, it's easy enough to regurgitate the techniques, but do you really understand what you're doing? And so I would say the number one thing that All In Weekend is, and will be even more of this year, is that concept right there. Helping you get further down the path to knowing your stuff, not the stuff I know. I got my own stuff to worry about. Can't worry about your stuff. I can worry about how you do your stuff. I don't know your stuff. There might be some overlap, but it's still your stuff. And that's what this event is. Let's see. I'm gonna. No, that won't replay. Actually, it won't replay. For anyone who's interested, there's the event that most people seem to start with in the Tony Robbins organization is called Unleash the Power Within. They're doing a free one-day female-centric Unleash Her Power Within UHPW. There were a few people that I messaged the link to that I know personally yesterday with the suggestion that they explore that. Any of the women watching this, I would encourage you to check it out because it's free. Because I would all but guarantee if you show up to that event, it's virtual, with a white belt mindset, it will be worth the investment of your time. There are very few things that we can invest simply time into and get benefits. Training is one of them. You can keep training. You don't have to go to class and spend money. You can keep training. There's benefit there. So I think I'm going to go. I want to give a shout out to Frank, who's working so hard to take care of me in my role that he did not send me content because he didn't want me to do a show because he wanted me to sleep. I appreciate that. I don't have a lot of people in my life that would challenge me in that way, and it means a great deal to me. I also want to thank Josh for our theme song. I want to thank all of you for watching or listening. There's one of you out there who is also helping on the back end, and I'd like you to let me know if I can use your first name. So I'm going to ask that first because I know that person who's helping with some behind the scenes stuff, doesn't do social media. That person is the reason that the podcast forum is important. Because if there's one, there's more people who enjoy the show, find benefit in the show, but do not use social media platforms. So, person doing that work, thank you. And let me know if it's okay if I use your first name, or maybe we can come up with a pseudonym because I'd like you to know when I'm talking about you and that I appreciate you. Jenny says, oh, that's happened to me more than once, having the wrong move in a form. I think most of us have. And Liz says, thank you to Frank. And we'll end with Lou's comment here. Hope you all have a great day. I certainly do. I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to go eat lots of food with substantial amounts of butter because I have fasted. Today's Tuesday, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. So last 4 days, I've fasted from breakfast, after breakfast, until I get back to the room when I have like a protein bar. I had a banana last night too. But definitely calorie deficient, but plowing through the day. It's been great. Good morning, Gad. Sorry, Gad, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay. I am ending now. Thank you all. Have a fantastic day. Remember, if you want to support, what am I doing? Nope, not that button. Let's keep trying, Jeremy. If you want to support, you can join the Patreon. You can use the code FIRSTCUP15 at whistlekick.com. Remember, if you find something, and one of you out there, I'm guessing you're outfitting your whole family with Whistlekick sweatshirts this year based on what you ordered. Thank you. That is an incredible honor. And just a reminder, if we release anything for a sale and you've been watching First Cup and you see, hey, I bought this thing, and 3 days later you offered it at a bigger discount than that 15% off, I will refund you the difference. You have my word. And this person that spent a bunch of money yesterday on some sweatshirts and a denim jacket, looks like a denim jacket. I'm glad I'm not the only one wearing it. No. You'll be getting a refund. I have to do math. No discounts on all the weekend because we don't discount us. Alrighty. You're all the best. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do what I do. And I will see you back here tomorrow at some point, likely around this time. Take care, everybody.